Good evening, BookTube. This is Johnny. It's that time when I make another video. I looked at my BookTube channel and it's been over 24 hours. So yeah, and it is a Sunday night here in West Michigan. It is January the 14th. It is 9:28 at night here in West Michigan. We live close to Lake Michigan. And so when I make a video, I don't really have any kind of idea of what I'm going to do when I make a video. I like my videos to be spontaneous. I don't edit my videos. I don't plan them out. I just try to be as real as possible with my flaws. I know I do not pronunciate correctly. I can't pronounce names or places. I'm not good at foreign languages. I don't know English. I don't know Spanish or French or Italian or Russian. So I just let it flow and try to be as spontaneous as possible. So first of all, in my diary today, on January the 20th, 2018, today, like I said, is the 14th. I ended on page... What did I end on today? Let's see here. I ended on page 28. So I ended on page 28, and tomorrow is January the 15th. We'll be in the middle of the month. We're coming to the end of January, going into February. And slowly but surely we will go through the winter months here in West Michigan. Today it was kind of cold. It didn't snow. I'm hoping we don't have any more severe snowstorms. That it will just be light snow, icy cold. So like I said, tomorrow is January the 15th. I will be on, what did I say? Page... What did I say? I'll be on page 34 tomorrow. So today is a Sunday, and I watched once again the professional football playoffs. And I don't know if I really read. I know this morning I read something. This morning I read from Gregory. First of all, I read God's Glory and Salvation Through Judgment of Biblical Theology. This goes through it's kind of like going through the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelations. And this morning I read the section going through Genesis. And tomorrow morning I start on Salvation Through Judgment at the Exodus. And I like reading books that take me through the whole Bible, like a Bible survey, looking at the whole plan of redemption from Genesis to Revelations. And I do that periodically. I find books that give me an overview of the whole of the panorama of God's plan of salvation to save the cosmos and save the elect and bring them into a state of eternal glory. This is really a good book. I am enjoying it. God's Glory and Salvation Through Judgment, Biblical Theology by James M. Hamilton Jr. I recommend it. And then afterwards I read some more Gregory the Great, more reflections on the book of Job. I'm on chapter 29 in the book of Job. And the verses I meditated upon this morning in the book of Job was, let me see here. This is 29 verses 11. When the ear heard, then it blessed me. When the eye saw, then it approved me, because I delivered the poor who cried out, the fatherless, the ones who had no helper. The blessing of the perishing man came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind, I was feet to the lame, I was a father to the poor, and I searched out the case that I did not know, and I broke the fangs of the wicked and plucked the victim from his teeth. So that's what I read this morning. The Gregory the Great, his allegorical and spiritual and mystical interpretation of those verses in Job 29. And then it was football. From 12 until this evening, I watched football. Last night, I read some more Challenge, this novel I got at the Book Nook. It was Wednesday. This is Vita Sackville-West. This is her novel Challenge. This is her second novel, superbly romantic story of a young Baronic Englishman and the woman he loves. Together they travel to Greece, where they become central figures in the political revolution. In a story of love and drama, of jealousy and betrayal. The scene is richly described, the action is exciting, the romance is captured brilliantly and with intense feeling, yet this novel was suppressed, for it told the truth. Like I said, this was published in, I think it was published in 1924 in Great Britain. She was in the circles of Virginia Woolf, the Bloomsbury Group, back there in the 20s. And then I read the other day some more of Nicola Barker, the Darkmans. So I'm really enjoying this novel. It's really a great read. I mean, I've read 405 pages. It is 838 pages. I'm halfway through it. It's really a great book. I highly recommend it. Check it out, The Darkmans. Look at your Amazon reviews or your Goodreads, or look at reviews online. The Darkmans. This was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. It was published in 2007, paperback edition. So yeah, well, before the football came on at 1 o'clock, I did leave the house to go to a grocery store to get some milk and some other food items, and I stopped at a local thrift store, Goodwill, and I found this novel by Julian Barnes, The Sense of an Ending. I wasn't sure if I had this. I collect the writings of the British writer Julius Barnes. This is winner of the Booker Prize. This was published in, what year was this published? 2011, it won the Booker Prize. I wasn't sure if I had this, but I bought it for, it was like 60 cents. This is Sense of an Ending. I have it, so I'll take this to Book Nook this coming Friday. And then I found a novel by the Haitian writer Jamaica Kincaid. This is a memoir. My brother died. I had expected him to sometime. It seemed as if he would be a good thing if he were just to die. And then he did die when he was still alive. I used to try to imagine what it would be like when he was no longer alive, what the world would be like, what the world would seem like the moment I knew he was no longer alive. But when the moment came, the moment I knew he was no longer alive, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to feel. Jamaica Kincaid's brother, Devian Drew, died of AIDS on January the 19th, 1996, at the age of 33. the youngest of 4 children, highly intelligent, well-read, charming, handsome, and seductive personality. He had also been involved in the murder at the age of 14, adopted the manner of the Rastafarians, and been a heavy user of drugs, and then he died. So this is her little memoir. I noticed when I brought it home that it was signed by her. It's a signed copy. And then I found this history of the Romanoves, 1613 to 1918. They were a Russian aristocratic family, and this is written by Simeon Sebag Montefiore. I read a couple years ago his biography, Jerusalem, a biography by Simeon Sebag Montefiore. I also have in my collection One Night in Winter, a novel by Simeon Sebag Montefiore. And then he wrote this biography on Stalin, The Young Stalin by Simeon Sebag Montefiore, and then Stalin, The Court of the Red Tsar. So now I have in my collection, I think this is his newest book, The Romanoves, 1613 to 1918. I wish I had the cover on it, but it was only 90 cents. It's in perfect condition, nice illustrations. And so yeah, I was glad to find this. So then I came home and watched the football. And one thing else I got in the mail, I mentioned in a previous video that I got onto ancestral.com, and I sent in my DNA because our son Josiah has been researching our family history for a while, and he suggested that I submit my DNA just to help him in his researches, and I got the results this week, and they confirm what my son has found, that I come from, I mentioned in my video that I come from the state of Virginia, way here in the west at the very end of Virginia. I come from the Keene clan. I come from the Holler. I'm Appalachian. My ancestors were coal miners and farmers. And they come from this area way down here in the very corner of Virginia. Down here, and most of my ancestors are still there. I've been in contact with some of my first cousins. My father was a family of 9, and he had a sister. His youngest sisters, 2 daughters, have come in contact with me, and we're now Facebook friends. They sent me a little email, welcome to our family, and yeah. So now, according to Ancestral.com, according to my DNA, my father came from that part of the Appalachians and mountains in that area, and I'm from the Holler. I'm kind of excited about that, knowing where my roots are. Irish, Scottish, English. There's some Scandinavian in my ancestors. So yeah, so they sent my first cousins sent me some emails, and we're now Facebook friends, and so we'll find out more about my father and his siblings and his other parts of my family. So that was kind of interesting. Not much else going on. Like tomorrow is a Monday. Tomorrow is a national holy day. It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s national holy day. There'll be no mail be delivered tomorrow. I'll probably, my wife's off tomorrow night and Tuesday night. She's working tonight. So yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I'm really enjoying reading The Darkmans. This is really a great novel. I have been enjoying reading some biblical theology, God's Glory and Salvation Through Judgment by James M. Hamilton Jr. I've been writing in my diary, watching the birds, growing old, waiting for death. And yeah, existence keeps flowing by. I don't know what else to say tonight. It is now 9:43 at night here in West Michigan. I don't watch television. I do watch a lot of BookTube. And yeah. So thank you for the subscribers. People come and go. I have 833, and then I have 800, and then I have 831. But like I'm kind of compelled to make videos because I like talking about the books that I'm reading, the books I find at thrift stores, good Christian books like Gregory the Great, More Reflections on the Book of Job, Volume 4, books 1722. And I love reading through the scriptures, the unity of scripture, the divine unity of scripture, going through from Genesis to Revelations, and this is a good book to do that. I found a new book to add to my Simeon Sebag metaphor collection. I really enjoyed reading this book a couple years ago, Jerusalem, a biography. This is really a good book. I really enjoyed it. So yeah. So I'll sign off. I'll download this video tonight, and tomorrow, Lord willing, it will be in my BookTube channel. And I'll sign off. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for some new subscribers. And hope you have a good new week and that you had a good weekend. And until next time, bye.